girls' rights activists and also women's rights activists, I believe that a dress code should not be a contributing factor to sexual harassment, because there is nothing like a dress code of a particular child, a particular girl child should be a contributing factor for that particular person to be sexually abused or harassed. So basically, in my point of view and from experience-wise, I believe that dress code should not be a contributing factor, because the dress code of a particular person depends on that particular person's individual personality and not being the way the person is being dressed.
Now, I don't think anything justifies why women need to be abused or raped. Not what they wear, not the person's psychology or physical appearance. But there's a dreaded line that we have to cross, that we always have to put into consideration. That is modesty.
Thank you very much, Asita. First of all, sex education in itself is gaining information, skills and motivation to be able to make healthy decisions about sex and education. And so we all know that the girl's biological anatomy is created in such a way that it's very delicate, and it's very, very important for girls themselves to know what is in their bodies and how these things function. You'll be surprised that most girls at the age of 16, 18 do not even know how their biological organ actually look like. The time that most of these girls actually know this is when they've become, most of the time, sexually active, or when most of these girls are exposed to these kind of things. And there's the time actually you realize that it would have been already too late. So it's actually important to put them in the picture well before they reach those stages that might already be too late for them to know these things.
Girls' sex education, from what angle does it come from? Is it the mother that has the major responsibility, or what parents share it? But the first question one of my followers asked me is, what is sexuality in the first place? And a lot of people are actually misunderstanding the real definition of sexuality. When you talk about sexuality, it's not, you're not just looking about sex. You're not just looking about the private part of the woman. That's not just the girl. That's not just what you're looking at. Sexuality has to do with how the individual feel about their developing body, how the individual react to their intimacy and the way and the attraction they get from people and all that and stuff, and how they grow and build relationships. So when you talk about sexuality, it's a whole lot of things that deals with different kind of things, not just the sex part of it.
Now we are at a point where we don't really hold gender roles that much. Alright, some still do, but at some point you realize that these roles are made by people and they can be changed. And now, for example, 100 years ago, 50 years ago, what would have been for a woman to do, now men do it. And what would have been for a man to do, now women do it. Today we have men who are chefs. Today we have men who are laundry, they do laundry as a business. Today we have soldiers who are women. And then during prehistoric times, men were supposed to be the soldiers. Men were supposed to be the protectors. But today we have women who do these things. And today we have men that do things that society has placed on women to do.
So urinary tract infection, like you mentioned earlier, it's a very important issue to women. And you see my background is mainly women, but it affects also males, and it affects young and the elderly. But it's very common, if you compare males to females, it's commoner in females compared to males. There are other conditions that will make it also, come like if you have diabetes or other problems, or some outlet problems. You can be predisposed to urinary tract infection, but it's a burden that we have, especially perimenopausal women have. And I think it's good that we tackle it, but if you look at the name, urinary tract infection, it's sort of a misnomer. Many people will think that probably it's just the urethra, it doesn't include the bladder and all that, but generally you can say it just involves the urinary system, from how it is produced, the urine, from the kidneys, the ureters, the bladder, to the urethra. Any inflammation around there secondary to bacterial infection, we can call it urinary tract infection.
Catcalling as well could also be seen as a good thing in our society. Now, based only on how the approach is seen. is done by the individual. Now, that alone as well could determine how far this interaction or this act could go. The issue with catcalling now. You mentioned, I know it's girls talk, and we're focusing more on girls in this. Most of this also can be experienced by men, but not a lot of people would really care how a man feels if he is wrongly approached, or if he is also wrongly denied the approach. How does that make him feel?
My God.
Now, okay, I'm not going to go into that in detail, but catcalling is basically just making a lady feel comfortable.
Actually, I'm going to disagree with Danny about what he said, that
Okay.
catcalling can be good sometimes. For me, there's nothing good about catcalling. Catcalling is totally an harassment to women. Understand? Because sometimes you see the terms that I use, they're offensive. Mostly women feel uncomfortable. This does not only happen in the streets. It happens in offices, in different places, in bars. You know, in every location it is happening, and this is making women feel so uncomfortable. They feel like they are not safe anymore. Understand? Their security is being threatened by men, and mostly this is caused by men that are jobless. You know, just sitting on the street, waiting for any girl to pass by, and they start saying any kind of comment that they feel like saying. Just like Marlene, that's the Secretary General for Gender Equality in France. She did make mention that she's writing a novel that is in order to enact laws in France so that this offensive comment or catcalling would be totally banned. It would be criminalized.
For the menstruation, it is usually what is seen when women reach the age where we can say that they are in the reproductive time. And it varies, you know, from country to country or place to place. In Gambia, most people will see it around 13, and they will stop seeing it around 48. Yeah, so, and the menstruation is about the ovulatory cycle. So it has phases. Menstruation, what you are seeing, when you see in the blood, it is just a phase in a cycle. You know, a cycle that will usually lead to pregnancy, or if there is no pregnancy, then there is shedding. So the menstruation, you will come to know, differs from woman to woman. Some women will see it some shorter, some longer. The interval between the first period to the last, to the next one, also varies from woman to woman. Yeah, so.
We might all be grown with different family background, but we have faced similar challenges as girls. There's been a place in our life where it's either we're not comfortable with the way our hair is, or we're not comfortable with the color of our skin, or we're not comfortable with the shape of our bodies. And I've been there, and music was the only way that I found how to believe in myself and how to know, hey, I have something that is unique and natural when it comes to who I am, and I leverage on my strength instead of focusing on my weakness.
We have so many issues as women that we have to deal with. FGM, child marriage, rape within families, etc., etc. So many challenges, but why do we as women still see ourselves striving, working hard, doing things our way, bringing up our children? Because we're resilient. We're 50% of the population. We deserve to be heard. We deserve to have access to all the things that men have. I am not a feminist, but I really do believe that if I'm here and I've been put on this earth, I've been put on this earth to achieve.
If all these ladies should just sit down and have a passion, everyone has a passion. You can't say you can have a passion. Everyone has a passion, but it's yet for you to sit down. Then you know that, okay, this is what I'm good at.
You know, the problems in Africa are similar. One of which is teenage pregnancy, early marriage, low self-esteem. This is key, low self-esteem. Because women don't believe in themselves. Some women don't believe in themselves. Teenage pregnancy, early marriage, there's been a lots and lots of sensitization, advocacy, lots of organizations fighting against this menace in society. But trust me, it's still a serious challenge.
Female Africans, they are shy and scared to step up from their comfort zone. They usually wait for the male to start, and later they come, you know. This time females We are always in front. We need to be ready to conquer our fears and show that we can without men.
Sometimes our women today think the only thing they can do effectively to get their way is to leverage their sexuality. In response, I would answer, success is not sexually transmitted. You cannot just flaunt your sexuality to get your way. We need women who excel. We need godly women, principled women, women of class and service. That is the hallmark of the woman. But simply because you are a woman, you are a girl, does not automatically give you a key so that you can get your way. We must shy away from that mindset that attempts to get an opening by being bribed to do something. That is not the African woman we are looking for.
We have learned that P stands for private and private. A stands for always remember your body belongs to you. N stands for no means no. T stands for talk about things or secrets that upsets you. S stands for speak of someone.
I learned that a girl child's education has no limit and that you can become whatever you want to be in the future.
I have learned that a girl child is equal to a man child. As girls, we should take care of ourselves. I learned about the women's hygiene and also I learned about child abuse.
Every girl has a right and no one has the quality to snatch our right from us.
Keep watching Girls Talk. Keep watching Girls Talk, for it will help you in the future. Keep watching Girls Talk.
Keep watching Girls Talk. It will help you to know your right as a girl.
People, keep watching Girls Talk. It's a very important thing to give girls power because we are also powerful as men.
There is no limit to what we can achieve as girls.